Imagine buying a first-class ticket, walking confidently toward your seat after a long week of meetings, ready to finally stretch your legs, sip champagne, and close your eyes in peace, and being told by the very crew you just paid thousands of dollars to, "Sir, this seat isn't for you," simply because of the color of your skin. That's where this story begins, and trust me, it's one you don't want to miss. So before I go any further, don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch till the end. Because what happens after this humiliation is not only jaw-dropping, it's justice with a side of irony so sharp it could cut glass. Our protagonist is David Johnson, a 42-year-old black CEO of a multi-billion-dollar logistics company, the kind of man who built himself up from the ground, grew up in a modest neighborhood, worked 3 jobs through college, and turned his dream into one of the biggest black-owned companies in America. He's flying home from Los Angeles to New York, dressed comfortably but neatly in a tailored navy blazer, crisp white shirt, dark jeans, and polished loafers. Nothing flashy but classy enough to scream, "I belong here." The airport buzzes with its usual chaos, families juggling strollers, business travelers typing furiously, backpackers lost in headphones. But David moves with a calm confidence, his boarding pass already marked in bold letters. First class, seat 1A. He's tired, he's earned this, and he's looking forward to peace. But when he hands his pass to the flight attendant at the gate, a white woman in her 50s with a sharp bun and sharper tone named Ms. Carter, she frowns, looks at the pass, then looks at him, then back at the pass like the paper itself must be lying. "Sir, this can't be right," she says. David smiles politely, assuming it's just a mistake. "It's correct," he replies, "first class 1A. Ms. Carter purses her lips, scanning him from head to toe with that condescending smirk reserved for people she's already decided don't belong. "Sir, I'm going to need you to step aside. This seat is reserved." David raises an eyebrow. "Reserved for who?" "My name is printed right there." Before he can blink, another crew member, a white male attendant in his 40s with a smug grin, joins in, whispering loudly enough for bystanders to hear. Maybe he meant economy, these things happen. Laughter trickles from a couple nearby, the kind that slices through dignity like broken glass. David feels the sting, but he stands tall. "I paid for first class, and I'm sitting in first class," he says firmly. But Ms. Carter waves him off, calling a supervisor. "This man is attempting to take a seat that doesn't belong to him," she announces, her voice carrying like a siren across the gate. The crowd murmurs, phones start to come out, and suddenly David isn't a successful CEO. He's a spectacle. A black man on trial in the court of public opinion. Humiliation mixes with rage, but David doesn't snap. Instead, he remembers his mother's words. "When they try to strip you down, let your crown shine brighter." He steps aside, but not quietly. He takes out his phone, records the entire interaction, his calm voice narrating, "This is what discrimination looks like in 2025. The supervisor arrives, another white woman in a blazer, who doesn't even check the system before siding with her crew. "Sir, you'll need to wait. We'll see if there's space in economy." That's when the bystanders start reacting. An older black woman shakes her head, muttering, "Here we go again." A young Latino man whispers, "That's messed up." And a white ally nearby, a sarcastic 30-something in a hoodie sipping coffee, quips loudly, "Oh yeah, because clearly CEOs don't wear blazers anymore," earning a ripple of nervous laughter. David, still calm but burning inside, refuses to move. "Check the manifest," he says. "Check the payment records. Seat 1A is mine." But the crew doubles down, the male attendant smirking, "Sir, we don't want trouble." And here's where fate decides to flip the script. 30 minutes later, after the crew finally allows him to board but dumps him into economy with an apologetic shrug, David makes one phone call that changes everything. Sitting cramped between 2 strangers, knees pressed into the seat ahead, he dials his assistant and says, "Call the airline boardroom. Tell them to prepare a conference call now, you see?" What the flight crew didn't know was that David's company, Johnson Global Logistics, just signed a $400 million contract with this very airline, a partnership that gave him not just influence but direct oversight into their executive operations. Mid-flight, while the crew pours champagne up front to passengers who side-eyed him on the way in, David sits in the back drafting an email marked urgent. "Effective immediately. I am terminating the current service contract with your airline pending investigation into racially discriminatory behavior by your crew. Additionally, I am requesting the suspension of Flight 782 staff pending review. The email pings in the CEO of the airline's inbox before the plane even lands. And within minutes, turbulence of a different kind shakes the crew. In the cockpit, the pilot gets a message. Upon landing, crew to report directly to HQ. Do not dismiss passengers until addressed. Suddenly, Ms. Carter's smugness falters. The male attendant's smirk fades. And David, he sits quietly sipping water, the calm before the storm. When the plane touches down, security and executives are waiting at the gate, not for David, but for the crew. Passengers whisper, phones record, the atmosphere electric. An executive in a navy suit steps forward, eyes scanning the scene, and then approaches David directly. "Mr. Johnson, we are deeply sorry. Please come with us." The crew looks around, confused, then horrified, as the executive turns to them coldly. "You will all be relieved of duty effective immediately pending termination review." Gasps ripple through the crowd. David, finally standing tall again, walks past the crew with the dignity they tried to strip away, pausing just long enough to look Ms. Carter in the eye and say, "Next time you tell a black man he doesn't belong, make sure he's not your boss's boss." The irony slices deeper than any insult. Guests applaud, some cheer, and one little black boy tugs his dad's sleeve, whispering, "He looks like us." That moment, more than the firings, more than the contract, is what David treasures most. Representation and justice visible for the next generation. Later that evening, sitting in his Manhattan office, city lights twinkling outside, David laughs with his ally from the plane, the sarcastic coffee drinker who defended him, who cracks, "Man, I bet they wish they'd just served you peanuts and moved on." David chuckles, replying, "They served me humiliation. I served them unemployment." His phone buzzes. A message from Axiom USA reading, "We saw the footage. We're behind you. Thank you for standing tall." And with that, David leans back, whispers, "They denied me a seat. I denied them a career." Sipping his champagne at last, this time not in first class but in the throne of justice.